Donald Trump just walked into a trap of his own making inside the Oval Office. In what can only be described as a catastrophic press conference regarding the partial release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, the former president didn't just deny involvement, he made numerous incriminating admissions that have legal experts and the public reeling. We are talking about a release of 3 million documents with potentially 50 million pages still missing, and Trump's reaction was not that of an innocent man, but of someone desperately trying to rewrite history while the evidence stacks up against him. From accidentally revealing his familiarity with Epstein's private island to feigning ignorance about hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign investments, this press conference was a masterclass in self-sabotage. Hit that subscribe button right now because we are going to break down every lie, every slip-up, and every piece of evidence that contradicts what Donald Trump just told the American people. Let's start with the headline claim. Trump stood in the Oval Office and told the press that the Department of Justice needs to move on. He claimed total vindication, asserting that there are no references to him in the files and that it is only Bill Clinton and others who are implicated. This is objectively 100% false. The reality buried in those documents is staggering. There are 38,000 references to Donald Trump across just 5,000 documents within the released Epstein files. Yet, Trump tried to spin a conspiracy theory that Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, was actually conspiring with author Michael Wolff to help Trump lose the election. He explicitly said Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So right there, you know that I had nothing to do with this guy. This attempt to distance himself crumbled moments later when he brought up Trevor Noah. Trump is threatening to sue the comedian for a joke made at the Grammys about Trump and Epstein Island. In his anger, Trump let his guard down. He referred to the location not as Little St. James or Epstein's Island, but affectionately as Jeffrey's. And he said that I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's Island. That shorthand, Jeffrey's, sounds like someone speaking about a close friend, a peer, someone he knew really well. And the projection didn't stop there. While Trump claimed he wasn't there, the record shows a different story. Epstein brought his operation to Mar-a-Lago, and Trump brought his social circle to Epstein's home. Trump claims he wasn't friendly with Epstein, but the flight logs and the 38,000 references paint a picture of them being best friends, flying on each other's planes repeatedly. The panic isn't just confined to press conferences, it's spilling onto social media. Throughout the day, Trump has been panic posting about Epstein, reiterating his conspiracy theory that Epstein and Michael Wolff were working to damage his presidency. But in a bizarre twist, Trump also started posting photos of Steve Bannon. Why bring up Bannon now? Trump hasn't spoken about him much lately. The answer lies in the documents. Steve Bannon is mentioned all over the Epstein files. The records show Bannon communicating with Epstein about every aspect of Trump's world, from the election to foreign interference, and even advising former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. One email from April 2019, just 3 months before Epstein's arrest, is particularly damning. Bannon wrote to Epstein, "We need to work around your 38. First, we need to push back on the lies, then crush the pedo trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as a philanthropist." This is the man Trump is now signaling to on social media. It looks terrifyingly like a message, "Steve, we're still good, right? Don't say anything." Another email from Epstein in 2015 highlights the financial vulnerability of the former president. Epstein wrote, "Donald's financial disclosures are his Achilles heel. These aren't the conversations of strangers. They are the strategic plotting of co-conspirators." While Trump spins narratives, his Department of Justice is actively engaging in what looks like a cover-up. Reports indicate that the DOJ has been deleting files that include Donald Trump's name, specifically files detailing accusations involving Trump and young girls. They delete them, put them back, and delete them again. Worse, in a horrific breach of protocol, the release leaked the names of numerous survivors and victims, identities that were supposed to be protected. This has caused such severe re-traumatization that the survivor's attorney filed an emergency motion with federal judges Berman and Engelmayer in New York, begging the court to claw back the information. Judge Berman responded immediately, acknowledging the urgency in setting a conference, but noted his uncertainty on how much he can help, given the current administration's stance. The Trump regime has argued that federal judges cannot appoint independent monitors to enforce compliance because the Epstein Transparency Act supposedly lacks a private cause of action. This is exactly what Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie tried to prevent when they fought for an independent monitor, a measure the DOJ opposed. Speaking of Thomas Massie, Trump is now publicly attacking the Republican congressman. Why? Because Massie co-sponsored the Epstein Transparency Act. Trump attacked Massie's marriage and called him a terrible and unreliable Republican, insinuating he has become a radical left flamethrower. The motive is transparent. Trump is lashing out at anyone responsible for bringing these 38,000 references to light. The retribution extends to the Federal Reserve. Reporters asked Trump if Jeanine Pirro, the Fox host turned U.S. attorney for D.C., would drop the criminal investigation into Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. Republican Senator Tom Tillis has stated he won't support Trump's new Fed nominees until the case is closed. Trump's response, no, just going to take it to the end. He accused the Fed of gross incompetence or theft regarding renovation costs, explicitly backing Pirro's political prosecution of an independent agency head. In another bizarre moment, Trump defended his decision to shut down the Kennedy Center for 2 years for a $200 million renovation. He claimed the building is dilapidated and dangerous, with things falling out of ceilings. He insisted that you can't do the same quality job if the center remains open. But we know the real reason. Staff were quitting, people weren't showing up, and performers were canceling their shows. It was an embarrassment to the administration. So he is shutting it down under the guise of construction to avoid the bad optics of an empty venue. Finally, perhaps the most financially incriminating segment of the press conference involved the Wall Street Journal report on the Abu Dhabi royal family. The report revealed that the royals invested hundreds of millions of dollars into Trump's crypto venture, World Liberty Financial. When asked about it, Trump feigned total ignorance. I don't know about it. My sons are handling that. My family is handling it. He pivoted to rambling about how he is a big crypto person and that we have to beat China. The facts, however, are devastating. 4 days before Trump's inauguration, lieutenants to an Abu Dhabi royal secretly signed a deal to buy a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial for $500 million. They paid half up front, $178 million steered to Trump family entities and $31 million to Wolf entities. The company had no product. It was essentially a direct funnel of cash to the president-elect. And what did the UAE get in return? Access to our most highly classified semiconductor chips, technology that every prior administration protected because exporting it compromises U.S. national security. Donald Trump stood in the Oval Office and tried to tell us that he is vindicated, that he barely knew Jeffrey, and that he knows nothing about $500 million flowing into his family's accounts from a foreign government. The documents, the emails, and the financial records tell a completely different story. There are 38,000 references to him in the Epstein files. His allies were plotting to crush the pedo narrative. And his business received massive foreign injections of cash just days before he took power. This wasn't a press conference. It was a confession tape masked as a defense. Judge for yourself, form your own opinions, but look at the evidence, not the deflection. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth is more important than ever.